Hi everyone, Kelt here, bringing you my thoughts on the British royal family and also Harry and Meghan. And today it's part 2 of Harry's interview, and I'm going to talk about his security demands and his body language in the recent interview. Prince Harry's recent BBC interview has ignited significant controversy, particularly regarding his demand for a list of royals without 24/7 security and his ongoing legal battle with the Home Office over his own security arrangements in the UK. This follows his and Meghan Markle's decision to step back from senior royal duties in 2020, a move that has led to a reduction in their taxpayer-funded protection. The interview has drawn scrutiny not only for its content but also for Harry's body language, with viewers and analysts suggesting he appeared coached, displaying rehearsed facial signals. Some have even suggested that Meghan was sitting in the corner, prompting him. This analysis will explore the latest news surrounding Harry's security demands, delve into body language interpretations, and examine public reactions, particularly on X, while comparing his situation to other royals like Princess Anne, who operates with limited security despite a past kidnap attempt. And as I said in my last video, I did a video of this years ago, so I'll put a link about Princess Anne's kidnap in this video. While maintaining a balanced perspective, as I usually attempt to, this response will critically assess how Harry's actions, including perceived bragging and public criticisms, have contributed to his current predicament. According to a May 3rd, 2025 article from GB News, Prince Harry has demanded transparency regarding which members of the royal family lack automatic 24/7 police protection, a list that includes prominent figures such as Princess Anne, Prince Edward, Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, and Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie. This demand stems from Harry's legal challenge against the Executive Committee for the Protection of Royal and Public Figures, RAVEC, which in 2020 decided to downgrade his security status after he stepped back from royal duties. Harry argues that he faces a uniquely high risk, surpassed only by the late Queen, King Charles and Prince William, and he has accused the royal household of influencing RAVEC's decision to reduce his protection, thereby knowingly putting my family in harm's way, he says. The Express reported on May 2nd, 2025, that Harry's emotional interview, where he expressed a desire for reconciliation but claimed the royal family will never forgive him, has further strained relations. His insistence on accessing sensitive security details has been met with scepticism, with sources suggesting it could set a dangerous precedent. The Mirror noted on April 23rd, 2025 that Harry's battle is not solely about bringing his alleged children to the UK safely, but also about proving a point against the royal family, whom he perceives as having wronged him. This demand for this list of royals who have little or no protection is going to put them in danger. So, for him wanting reconciliation with his family, he's again totally shooting himself in the foot. And regarding the body language analysis and possible signs of coaching, Harry's BBC interview has been dissected by body language analysts, with several posts on X highlighting what they describe as manipulative behaviour. A video entitled Body Language Analysis of Harry's Manipulative BBC Interview was shared multiple times on May 2nd and 3rd, 2025 by users such as @Faraday, @Cavanic Yes, and @AmandaTories777. These analyses suggest that Harry's facial expressions and gestures appeared rehearsed, with a specific emphasis on his use of pauses, eye contact, and head tilts to convey sincerity or deflection. For instance, analysts pointed to moments where Harry's eyes darted briefly before answering questions about security, potentially indicating discomfort or a reliance on pre-prepared responses. I believe there could have been Meghan sitting nearby, probably giving him signals. His deliberate slowing of speech when discussing reconciliation was interpreted as an attempt to project vulnerability, though some viewers found it inauthentic. While these interpretations are subjective and not conclusive, the consensus among these ex-posts is that Harry's delivery felt staged, possibly due to media coaching to navigate the sensitive topic of royal security. However, without professional verification, such claims remain speculative. A balanced view acknowledges that Harry, having faced intense media scrutiny for years, may naturally adopt a guarded demeanour, which could be mistaken for coaching. But my thoughts are that whether Meghan was there physically or whether she was just in his mind, having really pushed him to say the right things and probably definitely coached him before the interview. Public sentiment on X reflects widespread confusion and criticism of Harry's demand for a list of royals without security. Users like @Emerald 88604982 argued on May the 3rd, 25, that Harry's claim of being unable to bring his alleged children, I will always say alleged when I remember, his alleged children to the UK due to safety concerns is disingenuous, as he receives security on a need basis, similar to other non-working royals. Another user, @K McCrae Plockton, emphasised the contradiction in Harry's stance, noting that he accuses the royal family of reducing his security while simultaneously demanding sensitive information that could compromise others. @Beware of the Narc highlighted on May the 2nd, 25, that Harry's focus on alleging royal interference with Rebecca overshadows his reconciliation narrative, calling it a joke. Viewers frequently expressed that Harry's request doesn't make sense, questioning why he would need a list of unprotected royals unless to make a public point or escalate his feud. The sentiment is that such a demand is impractical and potentially reckless, as it could expose vulnerabilities within the royal family. These reactions underscore a broader frustration with Harry's approach, with many feeling he is attempting to portray himself as a victim while ignoring the consequences of his and Meghan's public criticisms of the monarchy. And now I talk about the comparison to Princess Anne, which is a very stark contrast. Princess Anne, a working royal and the King's sister, provides a compelling point of comparison. As noted in the GB News article, Anne does not have full-time security, receiving protection only during public engagements or official duties. This limited arrangement persists despite a harrowing kidnap attempt in 1974, when an armed assailant tried to abduct her from a car on the Mall in London. The incident, which I refer to in a previous video, and again, as I said, I'll put the link here, saw Anne's personal bravery and quick thinking thwart the attacker, and a bodyguard was even shot in this. Yet she has not publicly demanded enhanced security nor transparency about royal protection arrangements. Good on her. She is the bravest person within the royal family. Anne's approach contrasts sharply with Harry's. While Harry cites security concerns as a barrier to bringing his family to the UK, Princess Anne quietly fulfills hundreds of engagements annually without complaint, despite her own history of risk. This disparity has fueled criticism of Harry, with ex-users pointing out that Anne's resilience undermines his argument that limited security is untenable. The comparison highlights Harry's perceived entitlement, as he seeks protections not afforded to other working royals who face similar or greater risks due to their public roles. A critical perspective supported by various sources suggests that Harry and Meghan have significantly contributed to their current situation through their public actions and statements. Since stepping back from royal duties, the couple has engaged in high-profile interviews, a Netflix docuseries, and Harry's memoir Spare in 2023, which detailed personal grievances against the royal family. These actions, including allegations of racism and Harry's recounting of disputes with Prince William and Princess Catherine, have strained family relations and polarised public opinion. The Express reported on April the 27th, 2025, that Meghan is desperate to appear as a royal saviour by mending ties. But her and Harry's earlier criticisms have made reconciliation challenging. It seems to me as if they are both as tone-deaf as each other. Moreover, Harry and Meghan's personal persona, often perceived as self-promotional, has been criticised as bragging that alienates both the royal family and segments of the public. For instance, Meghan's recent podcast interview, where she called Harry a fox and likened their marriage to a heroic narrative, was seen by some as a thinly veiled dig at the royals, further antagonising detractors. The Mirror reported on April the 29th, 25, that Meghan's use of her HRH title on a gift card, despite agreeing to not use it, is another snub to the royal family. Princess Anne, a working royal with limited security, contrasts sharply with Harry's demands. Princess Anne, a working royal with limited security, contrasts sharply with Harry's demands. Posts on X and media analyses highlight Harry's security demands as potentially manipulative, with rehearsed facial signals noted in his BBC interview. Viewer reactions on X emphasise confusion, with many arguing his request for a list of unprotected royals is illogical and risky. Comparing Harry to Princess Anne, who lacks full-time security despite a 1974 kidnap attempt, underscores his perceived entitlement. Anne quietly performs extensive duties, while Harry's focus on security as a barrier to UK visits appears inconsistent with other royals' practices. Harry and Meghan's public criticisms, detailed in Spare and their Netflix series, have strained royal ties and fueled perceptions of self-promotion. Meghan's recent comments and title usage have drawn further criticism. These actions, seen as bragging, have created enemies and complicated their security narrative. So, while Harry's concerns for his family's safety are valid, to a point, given his high profile and past threats, his approach, publicly challenging the royal household and demanding sensitive information, has drawn scepticism. His situation contrasts with royals like Anne, who navigate risks discreetly. Critics argue Harry's demands reflect a desire to prove a point rather than a practical need, especially since he does receive need-based security. Yet his supporters might see his transparency push as a stand against perceived royal unfairness. In conclusion, Harry's security demands and the coached appearance in the interview have sparked debate, with public sentiment leaning towards being very critical. His and Meghan's public actions have shaped a challenging environment, making reconciliation and resolution complex, if not impossible. It still seems to me that this is intentional, to stay in the headlines, to be a distraction at whatever cost, whether it's constant criticism of his ridiculous and unreasonable demands. It's almost as if he's being told, say and do anything, just stay in the headlines. Let me have your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe, like and click the bell for more alerts for my next video. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.